Morning, morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Club, Monday Mindset, Monday Motivation, whatever I decide to call it. They're all landing at the moment. So last week we talked about clearing like accountability. And the week before we talked about clearing up kind of what we're feeding ourselves. We touched on processed foods. And this week we are going to talk about decluttering, as in like clearing the physical space, the home and the mind, and how the two are so interlinked. Um, so I feel like there's got to be so much decluttering and sorting. And feeling that urge, like that spring clean. So, it's not just about stuff, it's about that awareness, it's about boundaries, it's about trust. So, all of these things, when we talk about how can you rely on yourself, how can you trust yourself if you promise yourself to do something that you do not do, keeping that space, it's also that respect, self-respect for self. Um, and it's not that it has to be perfect and show homey all the time. And, we've all got busy lives. Um, but it always used to surprise me how I would like blitz the house as someone else was coming. If someone was going to come and visit, the house would be blitzed. And it was like, oh, this is so lovely. And thought, why don't I do this to enjoy it for myself? Why has it always got to be because another person is coming in? Um, so yeah, really about that boundaries and trust and self-respect as well. So we're going to start off with why do we keep things that we don't use? We might not even like them. Um, and there's some psychological reasons, and I'm guilty of this. Um, but there's one is what if I need it one day? What if I need it one day? Chances are, if it's been in the loft, the shed, or that cupboard under the sink, or wherever it may be, and it's been there, oh, I don't know, for a significant amount of time. Chances are, if you haven't needed it yet, you're probably not going to need it. The guilt and obligation, someone gave it to me, so I've got to keep it. Some stuff for that. Um, definitely. Identity, like it might represent something that you used to be. Um, so you want to keep it. It might not be relevant now. I think for that one, a really good one is to take a photograph. Take a photograph before you let it go. Avoidance, like I'm so overwhelmed, I don't know where to start decluttering. And control. If I keep everything, I don't have to make a decision. Poor decision making processes, lack of trust in self. If I let this go, what will it mean? What if I make that decision and then I change my mind? So decluttering actually triggers the emotional brain. So letting go actually activates the fear center in the brain, the amygdala. So as soon as so for your nervous system, letting go of a jumper, say that's from 2004, might feel like a threat, even though logically it's not. But remember that fear and excitement are experienced the same in the body. And I find this really interesting because when I start on a clear out, I get excited, or I perceive it as excitement, but actually the amygdala is shooting off some fear around like letting go of stuff. Um, but I always think, oh, this is so exciting, I'm just going to clear everything. Um, but it's that kind of it's not just the clutter that's in the cupboards, it's that stuff that gets between you and the life that you want to be living. It's that intentional, the way that you show up, the way that you organize things. So I don't know if there's anything that you've kept that you're thinking, I've kept this far too long and you don't know why. Um, I mentioned a few weeks ago about the wedding dress, my old wedding dress, and it was I managed to put it away, it's out of view. I didn't particularly like having it in the house, even though I really honor that time in my life, and it was such an amazing day. I want to keep it because the girls want me to keep it. But I've got this like, oh, I don't want to keep it. Why have I kept it? I think I'm going to send it back with my parents to go into their life. But yeah, just ask yourself, why have you kept these things for so long and why? I've got so many running t-shirts. Why? Because I have memories. That's another fear. What if I forget? What if I forget? Which is why making a little photo book. I think it's so easy. We're in this culture of taking photos of everything and then they just get lost in the camera reel anyway. Make a little photo book or a little scrapbook and pop it in. Um, and then it's there um, in the form of a book instead of all of this stuff, which I probably need to do with the baby things. Got two suitcases full of baby clothes. Anyway, moving on, the cost of clutter. It can silently drain us. It costs us mental energy. Every unmade decision is taking up brain space. Someone said to me once, think about whatever object it is that is in your house is living there rent free. You know, the thoughts, the thinking about certain situations or people, they're in your head rent free. Like, do they deserve to be there? Because they are costing you. So, in a physical space or a mental space, there is grab something to hand. But this basket is living there for rent free. It's not paying me anything. Do I really want it there? Because it's taking up my space. Um, time searching for stuff. I am feeling inspired as I am saying this because I need to sort out my clothes. Reorganizing things that we don't use, we need to like find something, it might be up there, or it could be in one of three places. That time you're spending searching, the emotional weight, that especially if it, gets to that point where it is a mess. Like there's shame, overwhelm. People have so much shame when it comes to the house. Like, yeah, that it's got to look nice, or it's got to do the, especially if we've got someone coming around. Just think about how you feel about sitting in your home compared to when that doorbell goes. I don't know about you, but that 10 minutes before someone arrives, oh my God, most tidying gets done. It's not tidying, it's like literally hiding stuff going in cupboards. Um, and it can affect how we feel about ourselves, that self-image of, but also, like I said, that effort that you go to for another person, and then you look around and think, oh, why don't I do this for me? Get it looking all lovely and yeah. So clutter can be a symptom of emotional overwhelm and avoidance. It's not a mess, it's a message. It's a first sign that like actually I'm not coping. Um it there's a difference. We all know that difference. We've all got our own like inner barometer of there's that kind of surface mess around because I've not had a minute um to when it starts building. and becoming worse. And when you clear your this is a quote of when you clear physical space, you also clear emotional space. You make room for new energy, new experiences, and new versions of yourself. So it felt so poignant with what we've been talking about as we're stepping into that future self. Um, so we need to, if you do have this kind of, oh, it's losing things, we're just going to flip that narrative to it's choosing what you want to say. It's a choice. It's coming from an empowered, conscious mindset. It's not losing. Um, so what if I need this? That kind of like, oh, what if I need it? What if I need this one day? Just think, what do I need now? Focus on those present needs. I've just like literally got a really clear image. The amount of um, glass jars I have because I've got it in my head that one day I'm going to make all of these chutneys and jams and pickles and preserves and they're all there waiting for yeah that summer that I eventually get that time to make all of those things where I'll probably be about 68. I don't need them, do I? And the thing is that, you know, I'll probably be able to collect them quite quickly or ask people that, has anyone got, oh, I'm going to make a batch of jam. Has anybody got some spare jars? Yeah, I would have enough. Um, so focus on the present needs. There's also this like, I paid good money for it. You know, there was a previous time where you really liked it. It's like it's quite expensive. That money's gone. That money's already being spent. So flipping that from like, oh, this was expensive. It's not costing you anything now. It's costing you because it's living there rent free. And if you don't really like it, then get it gone. Keeping it's not going to bring the money back. Stick it on Vinted. And yeah, and it might be a lesson there in like, oh, was it a spontaneous purchase? What's that lesson? Even with we could do this on really positive things. I find that if I'm in a shop buying loads of even crystals, they can be really positive things. But if I'm like buying stuff, and I can like be in a shop, and especially like going up to Glastonbury every month, and I'm like buying these crystals. I get this kind of voice in my head going, "Are you okay, hun?" You know, because why are you getting your dopamine fix? What is it that you're trying to fill? I'm going to use that later when I nip into the range as well. Just want to get a couple of nice little Easter bits. Um, but that kind of I might regret it as well. You know, if that comes in, like, what if I regret it? You can simply say to yourself, like, I trust myself to make space and move forward. And you can handle regret. You know, you're not fragile, you're strong. If it goes and then you regret it, you might be able to find another one on Marketplace or be able to find it again. This is who I was. My running t-shirts, you know, all those races, marathons, half marathons. They're quite embarrassing to wear when I go for a run now anyway, because they're like, you know, 2018 and previous. So it's like, oh yeah, she might have been a runner like nearly a decade ago. Um, but when we have that kind of like huge part of who I was, yeah, it was honor. You don't need a t-shirt to remember that. You've got the photos of the finishing line, you've got the medal, Um, so if it's like, this is who I was, with a little chat of, yeah, but this is who I'm becoming. So we're moving forward, letting go of those old identities that make room for the future self, physically and mentally. That notion of I should keep this, thinking, do I want it in the next chapter of my life? Do I want to take it with me? With the curators of environments, our stories. Think of it like a river. You know, we can pop these things on the bank. Someone else, we might be depriving someone else of that joy. You know, if we're going to recycle it, or we're going to sell it on Vinted or whatever it is. So think about now, just what's that one item that I might be holding on to, but actually, I think it could go. So let's look at the practicalities and start small. Um, Always start small. So we want to choose one drawer, one shelf, one category. Starting small just helps with the overwhelm. Um, do you know what? As I'm sharing this, I'm having so much thinking, oh yeah, we've also got a cupboard under the stairs, which reminds me about accountability. So if anyone does want to join the little WhatsApp group, so far it's me and Belinda. I'm going to get it set up today, but accountability, I might take a before and after picture. I'm I'm so overwhelmed with that understairs cupboard. And again, I accepted a single bed because I thought, oh, yeah, I might need that one day. It's been in there 2 years. The girls have a bed each. I haven't got any space. It's all in there. Fine. Um, so yeah, I'm feeling like there's quite a lot for me to do. But start small. I'm not starting with the cupboard. It just starts creating that momentum. So it could just be a shelf, one little shelf. Name the emotion. Now, I'm a fan of naming emotions, but if you're feeling stuck, like what emotion is this object holding? You know, I think it's Mary Kondo. She would say, like, when you hold an object and you think, does this bring me joy? Does this bring me joy? If it's a no, it can go. Um, this does bring me joy. My sister got me that from India. Um, but do you want to keep the object or do you want to keep the emotion? Something to ask yourself and be mindful of when you're decluttering. Is it the emotion that you're associating with the object? So you're therefore holding on to that emotion, that memory, or is it is it the object? Is it the emotion? What do you want to keep? All your emotions are yours. You don't need an object to create that, even though you might have a deep association with it. Create a maybe pile, a maybe bag, and you can pop all that stuff into that box, into that bag, and keep it for 3 to 6 months. You know, this might require some practice. If you haven't got, like, I also go on rage clear outs, like literally, like I know what I need to do. Call them, it's probably not very fair actually thinking about it. Um, but me and my best friend, I'll say to Lou, oh my God, I've just done a Britney clear out. You know, when Britney shaved her head, bless her, and went into meltdown of that, like got in the car and shaved her head and was like, that kind of like, I need to clear everything out. I can get to that point. It's like I call it Britney clear out. I feel like I really need to rename that now. Um, but if in that state and you've let go of things and then you're like, actually, maybe I shouldn't have done. Create the maybe, create a 3 to 6 month. So you've got that emotional distance from it. And then you think, oh, actually, I'd quite like that. Taking pictures. So you're keeping the memory, you're not keeping all the stuff. Um, and use a mirror test. Now, this is would the version of me I'm becoming want this in their life? Connect back in. So again, it's like last night's meditation. Look at her in the eyes. Ask her, do you want this? Would you like this? Um, so it's not about becoming minimalist. This is also other people's opinions. You know, like I've heard people, oh no, I don't like that. Oh, there's no character and it's minimalist. I heard that a lot and I was like, oh, that's a bad thing then, like, oh, there's no character in that home. It's like an IKEA showroom or it's this or it's that. So I was like, oh, yeah, maybe they're right. Um, that fear of judgment, but it's not about becoming minimalist. It's about becoming intentional. It's becoming productive. Like we're not going to spend ages searching for things. And it's that sacred act, like it is spiritual. Like I deserve to live in a space that doesn't reflect chaos, it reflects peace. Can also be a reflection of what we've got going on in our head. When I was a community mental health worker, it was an indicator. It was a risk indicator when you're working into someone's home. If it's an absolute mess, they're not managing. It's like in recovery, say, wait a year, get yourself a plant. If you can keep that alive and think about a relationship. Um, it's representing inner turmoil. It's a great indicator when you look around at your environment, like, oh my God, it's getting a little bit like, what's going on for me? You deserve to be surrounded by things that lift you, not weigh you down. And you deserve a life that feels clear and not cluttered. Um, and it's not punishment, like, no, I've got to sort the house. I don't like, I really enjoy it. Like, and there is that, like, you know, where I used to work in the NHS, I'd sometimes be like, I'm going to have a day off just to like blitz the house, to declutter. And I'd have so much resentment that I was like using my annual leave. Like it wasn't a treat. Very similar to how some of us, have perceived exercise as a punishment. Like, oh, you don't want to do doing this like with so much reluctance, so much resentment. Really think about that end goal of like just running this productive, organized, like knowing where things are, this intentional space that you can enjoy, that you get to crawl into bed, into that nice clear bedroom every night, sit on that sofa, the end of a day, not having that nagging, like, still so much to do, or this room's a mess. That I have such an emotional trigger. Also, avoidance. It can work the other way around when I'm avoiding doing assignments. My house is pristine. Like, ugh, really need to get on and do this assignment, but I'll just go and tidy the dining room. I'll just go and do. So really thinking about it being a gift to you, not a punishment. And if you do live, this is easy when you live alone. If you do live with other people and there's a lot of resentment around why is it always me? And that's your little message. That's your little emotional trigger. That's your little note from your soul saying, I need some help. This doesn't feel equal. And especially if it's someone else's mess. It's important. It's not a nag. It's can you just keep sport kit in the garage, or can you just help on a Friday when we both get in, just to like, let's just have half an hour, 45 minutes to have a bit of a blitz, or a Saturday morning. Um, yeah, can be harder. So, um, what's one thing? This is kind of my closing question. What's one thing, physical or emotional, that you're ready to let go of today? Physical or emotional, what's the one thing that you're ready to let go of today? Just kind of take that breath, say it in your mind. Just feel the space, it opens. You let go of that thing. So remember, decluttering is not about perfection. It's about coming home to yourself. That's a really spiritual term, coming home to yourself, that remembering of who you are, especially our first half of life. We're very, we're so malleable, we're so moldable. We're young, we're new, we can shape and bend and twist to be what we think other people are going to be. And then we start to remembering who we are. And we hear it a lot, come home to yourself, connect with yourself, take that breath, remember who you are. And physically, this decluttering isn't about perfection. It's not about having that show home state. It's about coming home to yourself, space you spend a lot of time in. And you're not behind with any of this. If it's things that you've been putting off for a long time, and now it's like, oh yeah, it's the understairs cupboard. I'm gonna, don't start that with, how did I let it get to this state? You're on time. You're on your time. You're on your timeline, and it is happening. So don't judge. Self-compassion, beginner's mind, fresh eyes, kind eyes, remember. So that is it. Happy decluttering. It's great. We've got a lovely bank holiday coming up. Spring, everything's popping. Just freshen up that space and start to let go. And yes, let me know if you want in on the little WhatsApp group, and I will start popping things in there and showing you before and after pictures. I started with the garden this weekend, and now it's going to move into the home. Have a lovely, lovely week. Oh, and while I remember the timings of meditation, so Thursday will be as normal. Sunday's unwind will be happening Easter Monday instead of Easter Sunday, but I'll drop that in an email. Have a great weekend.